Advanced lesson plan. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about the advanced lesson plan for the Lote exam. And I want to be honest with you. This is the one that scares most people. Novice, that's easy. Identify, label, list, done. Intermediate, not bad. Share opinions, describe things. Got it? But advanced, that's where people start to panic. Words like analyze and interpret and debate show up, and suddenly the blank page looks a lot scarier. Here's the good news: advanced is not harder, it's just different. Your students can do more, so you ask them to do more. Full paragraphs, multiple versions of a text, def- defi- defin- defending their ideas, comparing interpretations. And just like novice and intermediate, advanced has a skeleton, a formula, a set of headers you can memorize and fill in for anything. By the end of the video, you will be able to write an advanced lesson plan in 16 minutes. No fancy words, no complicated theory, just what works on the exam. Let's get into it. The advanced mindset. So, what makes advanced different? Let me put it in the most simplest possible terms. Novice and intermediate students, they learn words and simple sentences, but advanced students, they read real poems, articles, and stories. Novice and intermediate, they share opinions in 1 to 2 sentences, but the advanced, they write full paragraphs explaining their thinking. The novice and intermediate answer what questions, but the advanced answer why and how questions. The novice and intermediate describe a tradition, but the advanced compare two different versions of the same story. Novice and intermediate, they say, I like this, but the advanced say, I like this because, and defend it. Do you see the jump? Advanced students can analyze, they can interpret, they can present an argument. And the action verbs for advanced are analyze, break something down and explain the parts. Interpret, that means explain what something means. Present, share findings with evidence. Debate, argue for or against an idea. Compare and contrast, show similarities and differences in depth. Evaluate, judge the value or quality of something. You don't need to memorize a long list. Just remember, advanced means thinking, not just saying. Analysis, not just identification. Evidence, not just opinion. The 16-minute timeline. Same 16 minutes, same strategy, just different activities. Here is the timeline. So, first, you're going to read the prompt, find the theme and the objective. 2, you're going to pick the 10 vocabulary words, but they can be harder words for advanced, okay? 3, fill in the advanced skeleton, same as before. 4, add your cultural connection and comparison activity. 5, write your assessment. Make sure it proves the objective. And 6, quick proofread. Fix any mistakes. Notice something? The timeline is exactly the same as novice and intermediate. The only thing that changes is the type of activities you write. So let me give you the advanced skeleton right now. Here are the 12 headers for the advanced. Same structure as before. Day 1, Day 2, and Day 3. Just upgraded for students who can do more. So let's start with Day 1. Setting up and learning the material. The hook. Teachers reads a poem or plays a song to set the mood. 2. You write the objective and success criteria on the board. 3. Vocabulary presentation, harder words, maybe with translation. 4. Check for understanding, questions that make students think. 5. Guided practice, worksheet with a word bank, easier for some. 6. Communicative practice. Groups read different versions of the same text. Day 2. Number 1. Cultural connection. Groups explain their versions of the text to the class. 2. Comparison. Venn diagram comparing different versions of the poem or text. 3. Differentiation. The heritage speakers share their cultural perspectives and include a word bank for the ones that need extra support. Day 3. Showing what they've learned. Number 1. Final project. Group PowerPoint presentations with a written paragraph. 2. Peer task. Students not presenting write a paragraph about their favorite presentation. And 3. Formal assessment. Rubric grading specifically the speaking, the writing, the content, and the images. Looks familiar, right? Same skeleton bones. The difference is what you put inside. Now, for novice, students match words to pictures. For intermediate, students share opinions in sentences. For advanced, students analyze different versions of a poem and present their interpretation. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. Okay, let's say it's poem and poet. Let me walk you through a real advanced example. This is the one that shows up on the exam all the time. So we have the theme, a poem written by a poet from a Spanish-speaking country. The objective, students will analyze and present their interpretations of the poem. Now, watch how I fill every header. I'm using a poem by Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, a famous poet from Mexico. The poem is called Amor empieza por desasosiego. Love begins with restlessness. The objective, students will analyze and present their interpretation of the poem. The hook, the teacher reads the poem out loud to the whole class. Just the teacher's voice, no music, no video. Students close their eyes and listen. Then, in pairs, they share. What did you feel? What do you think about this poem? What do you think it's about? Success criteria. Students will show what they learned by delivering a group PowerPoint presentation on day 3. Vocabulary words. Big words. Desasosiego, solicitud, ardores, desvelos, riesgos, lances, recelos, tibiezas, etc. Vocabulary presentation. The teacher presents the 10 words using a YouTube video song. Students repeat each word. The teacher asks simple questions to check for understanding. Guided practice. Students listen to the song again. They fill in the blanks on a lyric worksheet. A word bank is provided for students who need extra help. 10 minutes. Communicative practice. Students get into groups. Each group gets a different version of the same poem. Some versions have modern language. Some have old language. Some have pictures. Groups read their versions and answer 4 questions on a worksheet. Culture connection. Each group explains their version of the poem for the whole class. Teacher leads a class discussion. How were the versions different? Did the meaning change? Venn diagrams. Venn diagram. In groups, students create a Venn diagram comparing 2 different versions of the poem. Was it the same? Was it different? Differentiation. Heritage speakers share their perspectives about love in the poem. How does this culture understand love compared to the poem? Word bank provided for all worksheets. Final project. Students create a PowerPoint presentation with their group. They must 1. Choose their favorite 2 to 3 lines from the poem. 2. Explain what those lines mean. 3. Explain why they choose those lines. And 4. Include images that represent the meaning. Peer task. While groups present, students who are not presenting write one paragraph explaining which presentation was their favorite and why. Now let's talk about the assessments. We have the informal, circling and listening while they do their group work, and formal PowerPoint presentations, graded of course with the rubric. We're going to be checking for the speaking, was it clear? The writing, was it correct? Content, was it understood? Did they understand the poem? And of course, include images in your presentation. Do you see the difference? Students are not just saying, I like the poem. They're explaining why. They're comparing different versions. They're writing paragraphs, not sentences. That's advanced. The 5 C's for advanced. Remember the 5 C's? They still matter for advanced. Here's where they show up in the lesson plan. Communication. Students use the language. In the lesson plan, it looks like this. Groups discuss different poem versions. Cultures. What does that mean? Learn about target culture. How does this look in the lesson plan? Sor Juana, a real Mexican poet. Connections. What is that? Connect to another subject? In the lesson plan, we have the poetry analysis, English, language arts. Comparison, that means compare the target culture to one's own. We use the Venn diagram comparing poem versions. Communities, that means to connect to heritage speakers. We use heritage speakers. We have them share their perspectives of love. How to use the same skeleton for any advanced theme. The exam might not give you a poem and poet. We don't know. They might give you something else, but the skeleton works for any advanced theme. Advanced theme, a legend from a Spanish-speaking country. You will use the same skeleton, same 12 headers. Just change the hook. Tell the legend out loud. And the final project, compare two versions of the legend. Here's another advanced theme, a historical event. Remember, use the same skeleton, use the same 12 headers, and just change the activities, the theme. For example, we have the hook, show a documentary clip. Final project, present different interpretations of what happened. Advanced theme, a short story. Remember, use the same skeleton, aka the same 12 headers. Just change the hook. Read the first paragraph out loud. Final project, analyze the main character's motivation. See, same skeleton, different content. You don't need to memorize a new plan for every theme. You just need one skeleton that works for all advanced themes. Set the timer for 16 minutes. Give yourself this prompt. Theme. A legend from a Spanish-speaking country. Objective. Students will analyze and present their interpretation of the legend. Use the advanced skeleton we just practiced. Same 12 headers. Just swap the poem for a legend. If you can do that, you can do any theme they throw at you on the exam day. Download the free notes in the description box. Practice twice. Practice many times, and you will pass. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, when you download the notes, you're going to get the advanced skeleton, which is printable, advanced action verbs, real examples, poet and poem, and the 5 C's checklist for advanced, and lastly, common mistakes to avoid. Remember, please like and subscribe and comment. What advanced theme do you want me to demo?